The night hung low like a crooked crescent moon trying to hide behind torn clouds. The air was heavy with mist, and the distant howl of a stray dog echoed through the empty road that led to a forgotten village called Behestpur. Arif had not returned here in 15 years. As a child, he remembered the village as a safe place, fields full of fireflies, bamboo groves whispering lullabies, and his mother's stories that kept nightmares away. But now the village looked hollow. The houses sagged, the wells were dry, and even the wind seemed afraid to speak. He came back to document folklore for his podcast, Ghost Stories of Bengal, but deep down he wanted to face the one story that had haunted him since childhood. The story of the silent house on the hill. No one lived there anymore. No one dared to. The villagers said that at midnight, if you stood near that house, you could hear a piano play all by itself. A sad tune that ended with a woman's laugh, faint and broken. Some said it was the echo of a girl who died there. Others believed it was the wind trapped in hollow rooms. Arif laughed when he first heard it. But tonight, standing at the gate of that same house, he wasn't laughing. The house loomed ahead, 2 stories tall, walls cracked like dried skin, roof half fallen, and vines crawling through shattered windows. The air smelled of wet earth and rust. The old wooden door creaked when he pushed it open, releasing a long sigh, as if the house itself exhaled after decades of holding its breath. He stepped in with his camera rolling. Each step echoed, thak, 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 louder than it should. The dust seemed to shift beneath his feet like living things. On the left wall hung an old mirror, its silver faded, the frame blackened. Arif raised his flashlight. In the dim reflection, he saw his own face, and behind him, a faint blur like someone standing in the dark hallway. He turned instantly. No one. He forced a laugh. "It's just the light," he muttered into the recorder. But his voice trembled. He entered the drawing room. Old furniture lay broken. A clock stood still at 12:03, and a piano sat in the corner, covered in dust. He approached it slowly. The keys were yellowed, cracked, but as his hand brushed over them, one key pressed down on its own and released a note. Soft, sad, perfect. Arif froze. Then he noticed something lying on top of the piano. A photograph, faded and water-damaged. A girl stood beside the same piano, smiling. Her hair was long, her eyes almost too real. Beneath the photo, a brass nameplate read only one word, Ma. Arif frowned. The woman looked familiar, disturbingly familiar. He searched his memory but found only fog. Then he noticed a diary resting near the picture, half buried in dust. He picked it up carefully. The cover read, Rena's Journal, 1978. He flipped through the pages. Most were smeared with ink and moisture, but a few sentences were legible. Someone comes every night. I hear footsteps on the stairs, but when I call out, no one answers. On another page, he listens when I play. I can feel him standing behind me. He never speaks. Arif's breath quickened. He turned to the last page. The handwriting was shaky, desperate. Tonight, he whispered my name. I think he wants to play too. If anyone finds this, tell them not to answer the music. And beneath that, smeared in red, was a single word. Listen. A cold wind passed through the cracks of the wall. The piano gave another low note, this time without anyone touching it. Arif backed away. The flashlight flickered, and in that momentary flash, he saw something move behind the piano. A shadow, small, crouched, head tilted unnaturally. The air turned icy. Then came a whisper, close to his ear. You came back. Arif spun around, heart hammering. The room was empty. He ran toward the corridor, but the door he entered through was now closed. He tried to open it. It wouldn't budge. He turned the camera toward his face. Okay, he whispered. I'm inside the old Behestpur house. The door just shut on its own. I think, static interrupted. A second voice overlapped his own recording, faint, childlike, repeating, You came back. You came back. The battery indicator blinked red. He shoved the camera into his bag and pulled out his phone. No signal. The only light came from the moon filtering through a cracked window. Arif moved toward it, but his foot hit something soft. He looked down. A doll, its porcelain face cracked in two, eyes missing. He picked it up, and from somewhere upstairs he heard a door slam. He froze. Another sound followed, footsteps. Slow, deliberate, descending the wooden staircase. Creak, creak, creak. Hello? Arif called out, trying to sound brave. Who's there? The footsteps stopped. Then, in the dark, a female voice answered. Soft, melodic, almost like a lullaby. Don't be afraid. I used to live here. Arif turned his flashlight upward.